Oh, good afternoon. Sorry, God, it's 3 o'clock. Where did that day go? It's Richard. It's Richard Mclean here. I was speaking to someone the other day from finance about a possible reimbursement for a CDC scheme or something. And who's this speaking to? I'm speaking to, please.
Pardon?
Who's this I'm speaking to?
Jeff.
Jess. Were you the person I spoke to the other day?
I can't recall. We get many calls.
All right. Well, I'm the guy. I'm the guy who's at the centre of the systemic government conspiracy that killed me. Does that ring a bell?
Mr. Mclean, I understand that finance has provided very extensive advice to you. If you'd like to speak to them further, I understand there's been written advice provided on next steps available, but there's nothing further I can assist you with at this point in time.
Okay, so you're familiar with who I am and what I asked for, and you're familiar that you have detailed a letter back to me, but I actually replied to that letter and requested that, framed by my vagrancy and the fact that government agencies always act in a methodology of delaying and deferring and gaslighting in a method that kicks the can down the road, which has aided and abetted my death. It's the same methodology and has caused me to be a vagrant. That my rent's due in, I don't know, a few days, and framed by the idea that it was an acknowledgeable thing, this systemic corruption I've been through, and that I would get some payment. I personally asked Mr. Birmingham if he would consider releasing a small gracious payment for immediate relief from this oppression that he's eventually going to acknowledge.
Mr. Mclean, I understand that you've been provided advice on appropriate avenue to have your claims considered, and I encourage you to follow those avenues. There's nothing further I can offer over the phone today.
Can I just ask if my request for Mr. Birmingham to look over and consider that immediate payment, has he looked at that?
Mr. Mclean, I understand that the Department of Finance has provided very extensive advice on all the different claims and the processes that are available to you, and I encourage you to consider that advice.
I'm providing you with extended knowledge and information about that. I intentionally sent Mr. Birmingham a personal letter of asking his compassion that he may save me from vagrancy. And I've additionally was very compassionate in that, and I'm aware that different government departments delay, defer, and say that's outside of our expertise, or they get a colleague or a pawn, such as you, paid by the government to toe the party line to, again, reject me in order to aid and abet my death and further my suffering and vagrancy, to talk to me. So I was just wondering again, if I could be really clear, are you kindly able to ask Mr. Birmingham to call me? Because as he can clearly see, I've suffered systemic abuse for a long time, and right now it's a real knife's edge situation. Now, I understand what you're saying to me. You've provided information. Now, I'm saying to you very clearly, I have provided information. I intentionally and insistently and kindly ask Mr. Birmingham to consider, even if it's like $5,000, out of the many millions that it could be. Because otherwise, you're just delaying, deferring, and aiding and abetting my vagrancy like all the other agencies have. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, and my understanding is that the Department of Finance has provided you extensive advice on how to submit a claim if that is what you choose to do, and I encourage you to review that advice and make decisions from there.
I think that it's very clear that Mr. Birmingham knows of my request and that he's absolutely acting in congruence with all the other government departments by sending agents, pawns paid by the government to delay, defer, talk to me, put onion layers around people who are told by the messenger to kick the can down the road. I just wonder what you personally think I should do when my rent's due in 2 days' time.
Mr. Mclean, I understand you've been provided extensive advice. I'm not in a position to provide any further information. I encourage you to call the phone number that the Department of Finance provided you if you'd like to speak further about your claim. That's the most appropriate avenue for this conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I've got an acquired brain injury. Can you remind me of what that number is?
Yeah, not a problem at all. It's 1-800.
Oh, hang on, wait on. I haven't got a pen now. Oh, so I'll type it down. Wait on. What numbers is?
So it's 1-800.
Yeah.
227.
Yeah.
572.
And can you tell me who that is again?
So that is for the discretionary payment section within the Department of Finance.
Oh, right. Wait on. Can I ask you a question? I'm a kind man. I'm not having a go. But, finance.gov.au, is that the department I'm doing this through? I don't know. I don't know about politics.
Yes, it's the Department of Finance.
Right. And can I ask just a very basic bit... sorry, I won't use that language. Just basically, does the Attorney General oversee that department?
No.
Who oversees that department?
Minister Birmingham.
Oh, so he's the head honcho. So who oversees Minister Birmingham?
The Prime Minister.
Oh, so I've got close to the top, have I? Gee, I've reverse engineered this conspiracy to such heights. I never thought I'd be so important, Well, it's a nice little token of appreciation that I'm worth so much money that people want to kill me before I get any. And thanks for condoning that and aiding and abetting my death. I will call that number. But do you think Mr. Birmingham may ask me, or may even consider, maybe calling me for a brief chat? Because I seriously have the evidence to utterly and unequivocally prove that this is correct. And he knows that.
And the Department of Finance has provided extensive advice on how best to make a claim should you choose to do so.
But you did know who I was, and that might take up to 3 months. But I haven't got any medication, and I haven't got money for medication. So, in actual fact, it becomes a health issue, doesn't it? But I've emailed Greg Hunt. Oh, he didn't get back to me. And I emailed the NDIS minister. She condoned me not having any medication. Do you see why this is a systemic injustice for me that's beyond just one person? And everyone employed by the government, whether they're a .gov.au or .vic.gov.au, are absolutely complicit in the conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. It's actually like folding in on itself, like you're actually one of them.
Provided extensive advice on how to further a claim if you choose to do so. I'm not able to provide you any further advice over the phone today. If you wish to make a claim, I encourage you to follow the avenues that you've been provided extensive information on how to do so.
I just have one simple more question. If I have a problem with the Attorney General, MP Greg Hunt, and Minister Birmingham, as a collective, like the three of them, because they've all condoned me having no money, food, and being a vagrant, who would I complain to?
You'd be able to complain to the Prime Minister.
Oh, really? I wouldn't want to bother him with my petty issues, How do you think I may make that complaint? Like, how do you go about it?
Look, I'm sure you'd be able to write to him if you felt the desire to.
Oh, you don't have his email address, do you?
I don't have it handy, I'm afraid.
But you do know it. I nearly caught you out, eh? Nearly caught you out. Anyway, look, thanks for your help in identifying yourself as part of the conspiracy to pervert the cause of justice. And I think I'm going to have to write to the Prime Minister because other than being a homeless vagrant and being utterly and absolutely framed, which I can prove, like, I'm going to have to take the government on myself. Like, I must be really important. Am I important?
Mr. Mclean, you've been provided extensive advice on how to further a claim if you decide to do so. I'm not able to assist you any further today, and I'm now going to terminate the call. Goodbye.
There you go. Call the Prime Minister.